of all the people, your assistant of 18 years knows a lot, done a lot, made a lot of phone calls, put through a lot of messages, returned a lot of phone calls. So how did it go today when you talked to Ms. Groff? What did she help us understand about the relationship between the two of them and Epstein's relationship with some key principals, including Donald Trump?
Leslie Groff was his assistant for 18 years before his 2008 guilty plea for the sex charge and after. And she maintained today that over those 18 years, while we know Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were engaged in crime after crime after crime, that she knew nothing and never once even suspected that perhaps he was abusing women and girls. She scheduled massage after massage after massage, meeting after meeting after meeting with young women, some of whom we know based on the files would email to her when they were scheduling these meetings and talk about their orchestra class.
We have one of those emails, Congressman. Can I read it for folks? This email is dated January 27th, 2014. Leslie Groff, hello. Hope you are having a nice weekend. Jeffrey will be in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and would like to see you. Might you have some time? Please let me know, Leslie. The name is redacted here, but it says Tuesday, I'm at school till 10 p.m. We have orchestra rehearsal for the concert on Friday.
Yeah. Now, look, could an adult have school and an orchestra concert? Perhaps. But it might raise some suspicions if you know that your boss pled guilty to soliciting prostitution from an underage girl. Leslie Groff maintained today that she never once even had a suspicion that perhaps he was abusing women and girls. I find it unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, not remotely credible.
Now, just do a quick follow-up on that, on this email that Simone just read. The individual that she is emailing to, was this a high school student? Do we know who this person was? Any sense of who this person would have orchestra rehearsal?
We don't know. This is one of the victims or survivors whose name was redacted from the file.
So you have not even seen that?
I have not. Perhaps some of my colleagues have gone and looked at that file to see precisely who that is. Yeah.
Do you believe Leslie Groff today?
No.
What, did members in that interview press her on the assertion that she didn't know anything?
Many times. And she maintained that, A, she believed Jeffrey Epstein's story about the 2008 guilty plea. That
and what was his story?
His story was he was blackmailed. He made a mistake. He didn't know that the girl was underage, and he was blackmailed, and he was going to be 100% sure never to do anything like that again. She believed that story, continued working for him, and spent a decade after that, more than a decade, arranging meeting after meeting after meeting and massage after massage after massage, and facilitating travel for the young women, facilitating payments for the young women. She seemed to claimed she believed that they were just assistants. She described how their role was sometimes to get Jeffrey Epstein a cheeseburger or a cup of coffee. She seemed to think it was nothing more than that. I don't buy it. I think it's a ridiculous assertion. There's no way she could have spent that much time.
Office conversation alone would tell you that.
It's crazy.
I want to go back to Todd Blanche, because the reason that you are having to piece together all of these interviews and pieces of information is because there is this black void at the Department of Justice. Given that Comer is saying there's no reason to bring Blanche in and sit with House Oversight Committee, Blanche is still going to need to go through a confirmation hearing through the U.S. Senate. The soonest that could likely be is mid-July. Does this then just become the centerpiece of what Senate Democrats ask him about?
It certainly should be a driving force. Obviously, there's other things to be concerned about with Todd Blanche. But one thing that is true about this Epstein saga is that in the country, get outside of Washington, this is an issue that unites Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. So those Republican primary voters that Senate Republicans need. They want to see these files released. They want to see the illegal redactions revealed. They want justice and transparency and accountability for the survivors. The only people standing in their way are Todd Blanche, James Comer, and Republicans in Washington.
Can I? I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'm clearing my throat because I'm literally caught up. But, you know, I'm just very interested in Bill Gates's testimony on June 10th and what people might expect to hear from him. I mean, according to the New York Times, he apparently has hired the ex-oversight chief to advise on the Epstein testimony. This is the gentleman who, up until December, was literally the lead investigator on the House Oversight Committee, and now apparently he's advising Bill Gates.
I think it's a bad move by Bill Gates to hire this individual, bad move for this individual to take that role. It further diminishes the credibility around this investigation. And the public is correctly, understandably, skeptical that this is a serious effort, that we're working and Republicans are working to uncover the truth. And when you have somebody who's conducting the investigation on Monday and then getting paid by someone who's being investigated on Friday, it further reduces the credibility of the Republicans and their role in this investigation. I think that's bad for the Congress, bad for the country, bad for our investigation. It was a bad decision all around.